Hello, welcome to another video from Jerry, and our organization is Ed Equity, and we hope to provide free education to underprivileged children around the world for free. And of course, this video is also free. Again, my name is Jerry, and today I'll be teaching about a concept in pre-algebra that is very important for later math like Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and even calculus. So today we're going to learn about square roots. But before that, we need to know what is a square root. So a definition could be the square root of a number is the value of power a half of that number. In simpler words, it is the number that we multiply by itself to get the original number. So we can just pick a number, say let's say 4, right? So let's say 4 times itself equals 16, right? So 16 then, the square root of 16 then would be 4, because it is the number that we multiply by itself to get the original number. Or let's say 2, right? 2 times 2 equals 4, so the square root of 4 is 2. But in some questions, it will ask you straight away what is the square root of, for example, 121, and you kind of have to guess and check, which takes a very long time. So there's a method called making a factor tree, and there are three major steps to making a factor tree, right? So first step is to write the number at the top. So write the number at the top of your paper, and when you need to build a factor tree for a particular number, you need to start by writing that number at the top of the paper, and this will be the tip of your tree. So for example, let's say the question asks you to find the square root of 16, right? So you write 16 at the top of the page or your tree. And the second step is to find a pair of factors. So this can be any pair of factors. You can do for 16, right? You can do 2, 8, 4, 4, 8, 2, whatever, right? So let's just say I pick 2 and 8. So you do it like this, like a tree, like branches. And so pick any pair of factors for the number you're working with. To qualify as a pair of factors though, the product of the two numbers must equal your original number when multiplied together. And the last step is to break down each factor until it can't be factored anymore. So 2, right? 2, it cannot be factored anymore. Well, it can technically, because 2 equals 1 times 2, but 1 times itself is technically not considered a factor. So let's factor 8, right? So 8, you can factor that into 2 and 4. And you can factor 4 into 2 and 2. So now you look at the factors you have. You have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And since the square root of something is the number that we multiply by itself to get the original number, we can take this and break it up into two pairs, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and we get 4 times 4, and we get the answer. The square root of 16 is 4, right? So now let's do some practice questions. Let's say we can do, what is the square root of 64? So again, first step, write the number at the top, write 64. Find a pair of factors. Let's say 2 times 32 And then we can do 2 times 16, and then right, so like break it down until it can't be factored, and we can do 2 times 8, 2 times 4, 2 times 2. So now in total we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, we have 6 2's. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And we can break it up into 2 groups, right? So 6 2, we can break it up into 2 groups of 3. So like this, right? And then we get, so 2 times 2 times 2, that's 8. So 8 times 8 equals 64. So the square root of 64 is 8. And we can do another question. Now this one is going to be quite easy because you don't have to do many steps of the factor tree, right? Because, so 25, right? 25, write that at the top of your tree, acting as the tip of the tree. Break it up into factors. Well, the only factor of 25 is 5 and 5. And you can't break it down anymore. So the square root of 25 is just 5. And let's do another one. Let's see. We can do the square root of 144. This is quite a large number, so you might need to do many steps. So let's draw it bigger. So 2 and 72. And 2 and 72 becomes 2 and 36, and becomes 2 and 18, and becomes 2 and 9, and it becomes 3 and 3. So we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Now this is different from before because it's not all the same number, right? It's not like all 2's, it has a 3. So what we do is we can first group the 2's together, right? 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And so we need to make the two pairs equal to each other. So we can just distribute 1 3 into one of the groups, and we get 2 times 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 3, right? And 2 times 2 times 3 equals 12, so 12 times 12 we get, so the square root of 144 is 12. And let's do another last question. So let's do square root of 100, right? 100, right at the top, break it up into 2 factors, 250, break each factor down, 2 and 25, 5 and 5. So we have 2 times 2 times 5 and 5, and we can distribute the 5 to 1, 2, so 2 times 5 times 2 times 5, we get 10 times 10, so the square root of 100 is 10. So that's it for today's pre-algebra course. I hope you learned something from this video, and be sure to check out our website edequity.org because we have many quizzes and practice questions you can do more on this topic, and also different topics like algebra and SAT and chemistry. And thank you for watching, and see you next time.